When I'm looking for the perfect shot, almost always my main focus is lighting. A lot of photographers love the sunsets and sunrises when the skies light up, and during that golden hour, it's my favorite. I'm a full-time traveling photographer. I also shoot weddings. About a week before graduation, I quit my marketing internship job and I went full-time with photography, and I figured I had like 6 months before my student loans kicked in, so if I could make it before then, that was the goal. So when I first read the email, I was just at home at my office, and it was from me@wendymurdoch.com. Immediately, I was hooked by the opportunity of maybe a lifetime. She is the ex-wife of Rupert Murdoch. I was kind of blown away to see that really strong, famous businesswoman was interested in hiring me for a job. Wendy's assistant called me first. He said his name was Aaron. Once I hopped on the phone with Wendy, she explained her vision. The gist of it was to go to Southeast Asia and capture Chinese influence. The title of the trip was A Colourful Red. Red was a very common theme, every location that she had listed for me to go. Yeah, it definitely sounded really challenging, but I felt so up to it. My boyfriend Chris and I packed for Jakarta, and on Monday we were on our way to the airport.
Perhatian, pesawat udara Garuda Indonesia dengan nomor penerbangan GA816 tujuan Balikpapan.
I felt the pressure of it's the first day and I need to get this done, and I need to at least get a jump on everything that she's wanting. We got to the hotel at 3 a.m. and then we slept maybe 2 hours, and Wendy called us by 5 a.m. to tell us what we were doing for that day. Wendy seemed like the kind of person who didn't want to be disappointed. She seemed like she had a very specific vision for this, which was new and added pressure that I hadn't experienced before. They had us picked up the next morning at 6 a.m. Once the driver picked us up, he handed us the receipt. Aaron had told us that we would have to pay a receipt in cash, so it was supposed to cover fees to shoot at some of the places that they were taking us. We had a 3-hour hike that we needed to do to a really remote village. Everything went well, and I actually took probably one of my favorite photographs of my career. It's of a group of 4 little girls, and they were all running around playing. I kind of like motioned if they wanted a picture together, and they all kind of huddled up together for a photo, and it's definitely probably one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken. Both mornings of day 3 and 4, our driver presented us with another receipt. Each day they got more and more expensive. I called Aaron, and he just said that he didn't really understand what was happening. He was going to need to call the tour company, and that he was going to have to call me back. At this point, we had talked to our friend Jord Hammond. He had posted one video on his Instagram story from a day in that same village that we had been in, and we thought, what are the odds that he's here right now at that same little village? So I messaged him. He said, hey, like, I'm on a job here, but I signed an NDA and I can't really talk about it.
I mean, you sign a contract, you sign an NDA. I flew business, so I was loving it. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Yeah, I was like pretty excited by the prospect of working for somebody like that. So
she had mentioned that she reached out to 2 or 3 other photographers. She made it sound like she really wanted me to be there, but if I couldn't be there, there was somebody else waiting.
I felt like the shoot was going really well. I felt like it was actually some of the best work I'd created, and it was like really in line with the brief, and I was like super excited to show them.
Wendy ended up calling me the morning of day 5 and saying that they needed another day of work and that our driver would be there at 8 a.m. to pick us up and that we needed to go. Our driver picked us up, handed us another receipt for $1,000.
Why do you keep giving me these receipts, man? Like, I've had to go to like 5 different ATMs because they won't accept my card, and the ATMs like block my card because I'm trying to withdraw so much money like abroad.
That's really when I needed to email Wendy, and I was getting really fed up with the fact that I am out thousands of dollars and she's still not reimbursing me, and it's very unprofessional that I'm being surprised with receipts to pay X amount of dollars that I wasn't expecting to pay.
At this point, I was like super low in my bank account. Then I had to pay them like thousands. You know, I bought that business flight from Tokyo to Jakarta.
I was getting frustrated because I felt like I was gonna fail the assignment and let Wendy down, and like we needed to pay it.
Yeah, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? I just don't want to give you my money.
So Aaron called me back again and basically said that we needed to leave the cash with the driver and we needed to take a taxi to the airport because we were supposed to go on a big like helicopter flight to another little island, and he really, really stressed. He said, leave the cash with the driver. Do not take the cash with you to the airport. The pilot won't take the cash. It needs to stay with the driver.
Yeah, I think it was like the high pressure situation, the like late night flights, like long days that just tires you out and kind of renders you like a little unaware of what's actually happening. But yeah, when I was withdrawing the cash, I'm just thinking like, what the fuck is going on?
We still went to the airport, and when we got there, we went to like the private tour area, and we asked them for the company that our private tour was supposed to be through, and they said, oh, that company doesn't exist. Like, we don't know what you're talking about. So that's kind of when everything really fell apart and started to make more sense to us.
It's incredibly exciting. It's an opportunity that is, you know, once in a lifetime kind of a thing. And so they go for it. They pay for their airfare over there. And this is where the con part of the whole scenario begins. The people that we know have been impersonated are Wendy Murdoch, Kathleen Kennedy, Stacy Snyder, Leslie Lincoln Glatter, Amy Pascal. They're power players in Hollywood.
You get this opportunity of a lifetime is what it seems. Yeah, you got to grab it with both hands, and before you know it, you're in the midst of something terrible.
The offer goes something like this. I would like you to work with me, for me, on this new exciting project that I have. Once they're in Indonesia, they are then asked to pony up cash for a range of sort of in-country services that seem entirely reasonable. Drivers, translators, fixers. The whole time, you, the marker, are being told, well, don't worry, you know, as soon as you get back, you're gonna get reimbursed. If you've ever done freelance work, which I have, this is how it works. They live and breathe in a kind of a rotating pattern of payments and reimbursements. You know, always the expectation is that they're working with people in good faith. And so this scam preys upon that good faith and betrays it.
Including the flights, I lost around £3,500.
Yeah, I ended up losing around $9,000 total, maybe a little bit more, including plane tickets.
On the surface, on the face of things, it doesn't appear to be, you know, a multi-million-dollar scam in which people are getting bilked out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's small amounts of money. In some cases, it's a few $100s, all the way up to a few thousand. But we're talking about dozens and perhaps hundreds of people who've been taken for these small amounts of money. I think that it probably runs to the hundreds of thousands, perhaps a few million. and that money has disappeared into the pockets of the scam.
The first morning I woke up home back in America, everything really sunk and everything really hit me that this whole thing was a complete scam. And, that's when I really realized that none of it was real, and I really broke down, and I just started crying, and I felt very, very taken advantage of. I traveled to the other side of the world for them and went on an assignment for them that I was really trying to give my best effort at.
As long as the imposters remain at large, and as long as there are people who have dreams and ambitions, then I think the scammer will continue to try to find them and bring them into the orbit of the fraud.